The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. Gildersleeve this evening is in a reflective mood. Seated alone in the porch swing after dark, he glides slowly back and forth, watching the fireflies flitting over the lawn, breathing the soft night air and the scent of wisteria blossoms and the aroma of a good 15-cent panatella. Through his head there runs a tune.
Tender words of love. La-dee-da-da-dee, I implore you. Love. I remember the first time I ever fell in love. Well, not the first time. Don't be ridiculous. But it was during the early days of the war. And it happened right here on this lawn. I guess it must have been love at first sight. I remember I was over on the other side there, clipping the hedge one day, and Leroy was watching a moving van that was pulling up in front of the house next door. Leroy? Leroy!
What?
Come here a minute.
You want me, Unc?
Don't bother those men now. Keep out of that truck.
I'm not bothering them, Unc. I was just asking who's moving in there, that's all.
Well, it's none of your business.
Why not?
Because it's not polite to snoop, that's why.
Okay.
The sooner you learn that, the better.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
What?
What'd you find out?
Oh, some dame's moving in.
Not a dame, Leroy, a lady.
Okay, a lady.
Wait a minute. What's her name?
I don't know.
You didn't ask?
No. You want me to?
No. It's no affair of ours. Makes no difference anyway. Is she a young woman?
I don't know. I didn't ask that either. You want me to go back?
No. I was just asking. I don't care one way or another. Means nothing to me, for heaven's sake. Just seems a little strange if you didn't find out what her name was, that's all.
Oh, I can go back there and ask the guy. He'll
No. I don't want you to do that. I'd be prying into other people's affairs. You've done enough of that already. But I think you should learn, my boy, that whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well.
Okay, I'll go ask the guy.
Oh, well. That boy. I've got to take him in hand.
Hi, Uncle Mort.
Oh, hello, Marjorie.
Clipping the hedge?
That's a silly question, my dear. What does it look as if I were doing?
It looks as if you were clipping the hedge.
Bright girl.
But it was clipped only yesterday.
Huh? Oh. Well, there are a few shoots here. Hedge grows very quickly this time of year, you know. Terrible thing if you let it get ahead of you.
You're taking no chances. Who are the new neighbors?
Who? Oh, the neighbors. I just sent Leroy. I was unable to stop Leroy from going over and finding out.
Hey, Unc!
Does he have to shout? Yes, Leroy. What is it?
Her name's Ransom. She's a widow.
I don't know what you're talking about, Leroy. You want to speak to me? Come over here. That darn kid, doesn't he know better than to go yelling all over the neighborhood? Gee, a widow.
He says she comes from Savannah.
Leroy!
Coming on.
Come on, in the house, everybody. We can't stand out here staring.
But what about the hedge, Uncle Mort?
What about it?
You think it's all right to let it go another day?
Certainly.
You don't think it'll grow so high we won't be able to see next door?
Inside, Marjorie, inside. Leroy, get away from that window. I told you not to stand there staring.
Yeah, but you should see what they're bringing in now, Unc.
Huh? What is it?
I don't know what it is, but boy, you better come over here and take a look.
Oh, well, just a quick one. I'm very busy.
Oh, I know what that is.
You too, Bertie?
Oh, I know what that is. That's a chaise lounge. I've seen them in the movies.
Well, pretty fancy.
They've carted more high-class furniture into that house.
Well, you peeping Tom still at it?
Who's peeping?
Miss Margie, come here quick. Look at the dressing table that man's carrying in there. Ain't that gorgeous?
Well,
Did you ever see so many pink ruffles?
it's a little overdone if you ask me.
What's overdone about it? I like a little nonsense here and there, in the right place.
Oh, it's all right if you happen to care for that type of thing.
Well, now, I don't think it's fair to judge a woman by her ruffles.
Well, who's judging her? I haven't even seen her.
The truck driver says she's a Lollapalooza.
Leroy, come away from there.
Here she comes now, I bet.
Look, Unc, there's a taxi pulling up in front of the house.
Huh?
See, the driver's getting out to open the door for her.
Oh?
Now she's paying him.
Well.
She'll be getting out any minute.
Don't push, Uncle Mort.
There she is.
Oh, baby.
Leroy, I want you to spend less time around that bus depot hereafter. Tell me he's reading comic books. See, what's that she's carrying? It's not a... Yes, by George, it is.
Not a parasol. Not in 1942.
Don't knock parasols, my dear. Some of the happiest moments of my life have been spent under parasols, and my life is not over. Where's my air raid helmet? Where's my gas mask? Where's my armband?
Where's the fire?
Never mind. Where's that helmet? Leroy, have you been playing commando again?
I never touched your helmet.
All right, then help me find it.
As soon as anybody's helmet disappears, I took it. What about Marge?
Marge, you've been growing ivy in it?
Now, why would I want to grow ivy in a helmet, Uncle Mort?
I don't know. You've been growing it and everything else around here. Come on, kids, help me find my equipment, will you?
You know, you really ought to have a special place for it and just keep it there, Uncle Mort.
I have,
Well,
but I can't remember the place.
Boy, you make a great fireman, Unc. The house would burn down before you found your pants.
All right, Leroy, you just go right on.
Clang, clang. Oh, where's the fire? Where are my pants? Where's the brass pole? Where am I?
All right, Leroy, that's very funny, but it isn't finding my... Oh, here it is.
Say, where you going, Unc?
Never mind. Slip that armband on for me, will you, my dear?
Can I go?
No, you may not.
Why not?
Because
No kidding, Unc. Where are you going?
I can't tell you, Leroy. It's a military secret.
There's no blackout tonight.
Leroy, Uncle Mort is having a private alert.
Yeah. Huh?
He has to take care of the widows and orphans, so don't bother him.
Yes, yes.
Don't forget your flashlight, Uncle Mort.
Oh, yes. We got everything. Armband, flashlight.
Smelling salts?
Oh, my helmet.
Are you sure you're going to want that?
Certainly. Why?
You'll never get it under a parasol.
Oh, is that so? Give me 1,000 roses, heart in beside them, and send them to the one.
Yes?
Mrs. Ransom, allow me to present myself. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, your air raid warden. At your service.
Well, how nice.
I just want you to know, Mrs. Ransom, that you can count on me in a blackout.
Oh, why, Mr. Gildersleeve. Come in, won't you? Come right in.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Ransom. I mustn't stay but a minute, though.
You know something, Mr. Gildersleeve.
What's that?
I reckon it's silly of me, but here I am all alone in this big old house, and when I opened the door just now and saw you standing there, I was just scared to death. You look so big and military.
You ought to see me in my gas mask.
Oh, I'll bet you look even handsomer.
You probably say that to all the air raid wardens.
No, I always just say the first thing that comes into my pretty head. Oh, but mercy, I mustn't keep you standing here. Step into the parlor, won't you? Just toss your hat on the table there.
My hat? Oh, thank you. I forgot I was wearing my helmet.
Oh, that's perfectly all right. I hope you'll forgive the way the house looks, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I'm afraid this is a bad time to call, Mrs. Ransom, but as your air raid warden, I felt it was my duty to stop by and check your defenses.
My Defenses?
Against incendiaries.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I'm afraid I'm practically defenseless because here I am all alone in this big old house in a strange town where I don't know a soul. And if one of those nasty old incendiaries was to drop in here right now, I just don't know what I'd do.
Well, that's what we're here for, Mrs. Ransom. In any emergency, just call on me. Only too glad to run over.
You mean that, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime, day or night. I live right next door. I can be over here with the sand and shovel and the fine spray and the stuff in half a minute. But I think perhaps I'd better run along now, Mrs. Ransom, and come back another day if there's nothing I can do.
Well, there is just one thing, Mr. Gildersleeve, if it's not asking too much.
Oh, not at all.
I reckon maybe I shouldn't ask it of you because it's so heavy a man would have to be pretty powerful.
Oh, can't be too heavy for me. Lead me to it.
Well, it's that high boy there.
Oh?
But I'm afraid it would take 2 men to move it, really.
Oh, that's easy. Where do you want it?
Well, I kind of thought it would look better down at the other end of the room, don't you?
Well, we'll soon see.
Don't strain yourself now.
What's in this?
Oh, well, it's full of perfectly priceless old linens that belonged to my grandmother Beecham.
You sure she's not in it?
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I do declare you say the most priceless thing.
They put plenty of stuff in these old linens.
Oh, it's moving.
It is?
Oh, my, you're so strong.
Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Once more now. Boink. There you are.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I don't know how I can ever thank
Why,
you.
it's a pleasure, Mrs. Ransom. Well?
Oh, before you go, there's just one more thing.
Grandma Beecham again?
No, but the movers left all the upstairs furniture down here. I don't know what they were thinking of.
I know what they were thinking of. Well, where do we start?
Just a minute.
What?
Before you do that,
Yeah?
yes, I'm sure of it. Now that I see it here, I think the high boy looked better where it was before.
Oh, brother, this is going to be one of my bad days.
We're going to hear more of the great man's reminiscences in just a few moments, but...
Mr. Lang, I'm a firm believer in if at first you don't succeed, try again.
I get it. You've been trying and trying to buy some parquet margarine, and you've succeeded.
That's right. Yesterday I walked into my food store, and was I surprised to find my favorite spread for bread.
Well, now, that's not so surprising. After all, Kraft is frequently supplying thousands of stores from coast to coast with limited quantities of delicious, flavor-fresh parquet. In fact, we're making all the parquet margarine possible under present conditions, and every effort is being made to distribute it equitably.
Fair enough, Mr. Lang. Of course, I'd very much like to buy parquet oftener.
I'm sure you would. Parquet has such a fresh, country sweet flavor. Helps provide such good nourishment, too, that millions would like more of this fine quality spread for their bread, toast, and rolls. However, with the demand so great, there'll be times during the present shortage when your dealer can't supply you. So if parquet sometimes isn't available, I'd say it's a very good idea to try and try again. Please keep asking for Parkay, Parquet Margarine, made by Kraft. Now back to the great Gildersleeve, his hammock, and his memories.
Well, it's like the fellow says. The course of true love never did run smooth. And with Leila, well, back in those days, she couldn't seem to settle down, make up her mind. There were always other fellows hanging around. And she'd look at him with those big blue eyes. And, well, I finally told her it was them or me. After that, we didn't speak for a while. I remember sitting here on the porch one evening, and it was hot, and I'd phoned the drugstore for some aspirin and a quart of ice cream. I was just planning to sit here and eat it all by myself. Marjorie was running around with Ben Waterford even in those days, and out she came, all dressed up. Well, all ready for the dance?
Don't I look it?
You never looked lovelier, my dear. What have you done to yourself?
Oh, I've changed my hair. I've changed everything. I've changed my type. Mrs. Ransom helped me.
Mrs. Ransom? Oh, I think you've got too much lipstick on.
Well, the evening's young yet.
Marjorie, that's not like you.
You better get used to it, Uncle Mort. That's the new me. I'm through being a mouse.
What do you mean by that?
Ben's taking me to the dance tonight, and this time I'm going to see that he doesn't get away.
Oh, Mrs. Ransom again.
Maybe.
Listen, my dear, do you want to grow up to be just a girl that men forget?
Have you forgotten Mrs. Ransom?
That's neither here nor there. Marjorie, I don't know how to say this to you, but you're getting to be a big girl now. And, well, I've tried to be a mother to you. I mean a father. And I guess it's high time somebody took you aside.
Uncle Mort, it's high time somebody took you aside.
Huh?
You're acting like a 2-year-old. You're so silly. Here you sit, eating your heart out.
Eating whose heart out?
And there's Mrs. Ransom over there. She'd love to have you take her to the dance. Why don't you do it?
Just because she'd love to have me do it.
Oh, man.
No, my dear, don't you worry about Mrs. Ransom and me. That's all over. I'll just spend the evening alone with my thoughts here. You go ahead and have a good time. Don't mind me.
You make it sound so sad. Aesop, go away. Get down. Uncle Mort.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
If he tears these stockings, it's the last pair I've got.
Aesop. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Come here, you. There. Now, you stay here with me. Aesop will stay with me if nobody else will. Won't you, Aesop? Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, here comes Ben.
Oh, my goodness. That's what you've been waiting for, isn't it?
Tell him I'll be out in 5 minutes.
Where are you going? He's here right now. That girl. She said to tell you, Ben, she'll be out in 5 minutes.
Where have I heard that before? Hi, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, Ben. Nice evening.
Yep. Nice evening.
Nice moon out.
Yeah. Nice moon.
Hi, Ben.
Hi there.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I just this minute got out of the tub.
Oh, isn't that terrible?
Well, take your time. I'll wait.
Oops, sorry, Uncle.
That's all right, Leroy. Slam the door if you want to. I don't care. Where are you going?
Over to Piggy's for a while. I won't stay out late, Unc. I'll be back early.
Well, have a good time, my boy.
I sure will. Hi, Ben. How's the kid?
Okay. Hey, just climb in, Leroy. We'll drive you over. Where's your sister?
He's coming.
You.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Marge.
Good night, Uncle Mort.
Oh, good night. That was a quick bath. Are you sure you're dry?
No, it's not. I wish you were coming with us.
No, I'm afraid my dancing days are over, my dear. But go ahead and have a good time, and don't think about me. I'll just sit here.
You're not going to just brood about Mrs. Ransom all evening.
No, I may have a cigar if I feel up to it.
Well, good night. Come on, Ben.
Okay. Night, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good night, my children.
Good night.
Youth. Oh, Leila. Who's that? Is that you, Judge?
Hello, Gildy.
Wait a minute. What's your hurry? Come up on the porch. Have a cigar, Judge.
I can't stop, thank you. I've got to get home and dress, and then I have a bar association meeting.
Bar association. Sitting around with a bunch of stuffed shirts talking about whereas. I've got some ice cream coming later.
Thank you, Gildy, but I better not. I had crab for dinner. There's something about crabs and ice cream.
All right, you old goat. Go on, go to the bar association.
Night, Gildy.
It's... I'm alone. Leila's alone. Maybe I ought to... No, by George, I won't.
I'm taking the back door key, Mr. Gildersleeve, because don't know what time I'll be getting in.
What? You going out too, Bertie?
Yes, I'm stepping out with one of my old reliables.
Have a good time.
Yes, I will.
Everybody have a good time.
Good evening, Miss Peavy.
Yeah, good evening, Bertie.
Well, hello, Peavy.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. I brought your aspirin and your ice cream. The boy wasn't around, and I had to pass you anyway.
Well, that was nice of you. Don't really need the aspirin now, Peavy, but nevertheless. Will you join me in a little ice cream?
No, thank you. I've got to be getting along.
Hot night, Peavy. Plenty for both of us.
To tell you the truth, Mr. Gildersleeve, I've sold so much ice cream I can't stand the sight of it, and that's a fact. Yeah. Who plays the piano?
Oh, new neighbor next door. Think her name's Ransom or something.
Oh, Mrs. Ransom. She was in the pharmacy the other day. She bought some cold cream, as I remember, and something else. I guess it was a back brush. Nice woman.
Kind of a flashy type, though.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Well preserved, you might say. I thought she seemed real nice.
You don't know women, Peavy.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that either. I married one of them. Been married to her for 20 years or more.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, we have our little differences, of course, like everybody else. But on the whole, well, the answer is she's waiting right now for me to come home and play Chinese checkers with her. So I better be getting along.
Well, what's your hurry, Peavy? I'm all alone here. I'd like to have you stay and have a smoke.
I'd like to, Mr. Gildersleeve, but wife's got to have her Chinese checkers on Saturday night. Oh, you better put that cream in the icebox unless you're going to eat it right away. Good night.
Yeah, good night, Peavy. Enjoy your game. Oh, you're coming around now, are you, Aesop? Like a little ice cream, I suppose. Yes, well, you deserve it, my son. You're a better friend than some of the people I could name. Yes, Aesop. Looks like just you and me this evening. Yeah. Good old Aesop. Uh-oh, lady friend. Now, Aesop, keep your shirt on. Aesop, ice cream. Yeah, ice cream, Aesop. Aesop, come back here. Oh. You too, eh? Well, go on, have a good time. Everybody have a good time, darn it. Yeah, her again. Yeah, that's a nice old song. Lover, come back to me. Ooh, wonder if she means that. She's certainly putting her heart into it. Gildy, old man, maybe you have been too hard on that poor little widow. Oh, the poor kid. I can just see her over there with her head on the piano, crying her eyes out. And I've done it to her. I can't stand this. I've got to do something.
My gallant air raid warden. Oh, I'm so glad you came. I want to tell you I've just had the most frightful experience.
Oh, what was it?
Well, I was playing the piano just now.
Yes, I heard your rendition.
And all of a sudden, what should come bounding through the house but a great big old tomcat.
Tomcat? Uh-oh, Aesop.
Well, I can't imagine how he got in, but he was after my little bitty old Beulah cat. Well, he jumped up and he chased her right across the piano.
Oh, that's what that was.
I want to tell you, I was just scared to death. If I ever catch that mean old cat hanging around here again, I'm going to call up the society.
You just call me, Mrs. Ransom. I'll protect you.
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton. My poor little Beulah thanks you, too. I guess it's just a case of love me, love my cat. Oh, but goodness, who said anything about love? Come in and sit down, won't you?
I brought you some ice cream.
Did you? Oh, Throckmorton, I declare you're the most thoughtful man. Always bringing me little things.
Well, I'm afraid maybe it's not as cold as it was, though. We'll see. Oop, it's leaking. It's soup. Oh.
Oh!
Get something quick.
All over your trousers.
Never mind that. It's running down my shoe. It's cold. Quick.
Oh, dear. Would an ice tray do any good?
No, there's a whole quart of it. Quick, it's falling apart. Uh-oh, here it goes.
Fireplace.
Oh, what a mess. Peavy will answer to me for this.
Oh, never mind, Throckmorton. It's the thought behind it that counts, and the thought was lovely.
What thought?
Just to know that you were thinking of me when you bought it. That's worth more to me than all the ice cream in the world.
Leila, there's something I've been wanting to ask you.
Let's go somewhere where the asking is nicer. Come into the garden, won't you?
Yeah, the garden.
Excuse me.
Why, Judge.
This is an unexpected pleasure.
Unexpected.
Gildy, what are you doing hanging around here?
I thought you were going to the Bar Association.
That's what you thought. I thought that I'd invite Mrs. Ransom down at the corner for an ice cream soda.
She's already...
Oh, lovely. Let's all go. I think that would be such fun.
Yeah.
Are you sure a soda won't unsettle your stomach, Judge?
Oh, now, Throckmorton. Come on, shall we?
All right, but if we go, I pay for the sodas.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do.
But I insist.
But I insist.
Boys, please don't fight over me.
There's just one way to settle this, Hooker.
Oh, no.
What's that, Gildersleeve?
We'll pitch pennies.
Oh, no. Not in my house, gentlemen. My father was always opposed to gambling.
Well, then we let Mrs. Ransom decide.
All right.
Oh, dear, this is so difficult. You're both lovely boys. But if you insist...
Which is it? Who pays for the sodas?
Throckmorton.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
I get to pay.
The Great Gildersleeve will be right back. Now, a message of special importance. In your own kitchen and your own backyard, you personally can help save the lives of several people this year. Who are these people? They're helpless, innocent children and tragic victims of war doomed by starvation in famine-ridden countries. It is largely up to you how much of this suffering and death you will allow. You have a real opportunity to help. In your kitchen, you can help by preventing food waste, by conserving vitally needed foods such as fats, oils, flour, and bread. Buy less, eat less, waste nothing. In your backyard, your garden can help supply extra food that's so desperately needed. Keep at it all summer. Cultivate, weed, plant follow-up crops. See your garden through to the harvest, and then can and preserve your surplus. Remember, the fight against worldwide starvation starts right in your kitchen and in your own backyard. Every now and then, the Great Gildersleeve has an adventure which you folks seem to enjoy so much that you write and tell us we'd like to hear it again. So we're devoting the last 3 weeks of our season to recalling some of the great man's early escapades. We hope you'll enjoy them.
Don't worry about me. Next week, Eve Goodwin. Hee-hee. Oh, and one more thing. This is Buddy Poppy Week. A Buddy Poppy is a mighty fine way to dress up your lapel for a mighty fine cause. Be sure you wear one. Good night, everyone.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It was written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Do the children in your family like cheese? Then you can be sure they'll like Pabstet. It's so rich in mellow cheddar cheese flavor, so easy to digest. Pabstet is a cheese food that contains the nourishing food values of milk, and it's simply delicious spread on bread or crackers, or melted into a luscious cheese sauce for macaroni. You'll find 100 or more tempting menu uses for Pabstet, so buy both delicious varieties, Golden Cheddar Pabstet and Pimento Pabstet. When you shop tomorrow, ask for Pabstet, the delicious cheddar cheese food.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. The
Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products.
Good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Morning, Bessie. A little late. Bring your book into my office, will you? I want to dictate some... What's this? Roses.
Mm-hmm.
For me?
Uh-huh.
Who from?
Read the note. It's tied on there.
Mr. Gildersleeve, congratulations and best wishes on your 4th anniversary as water commissioner. From Bessie. Well, now that's very nice.
I hope you like them.
Like them? I should say I do. By George. Is it really 4 years?
4 years today.
4 years. You know, Bessie, if anyone had told me 4 years ago that I was going to be a water commissioner, I'd have said they were crazy. They would have been, too.
How did you ever come to go into the water business, Mr. Gildersleeve?
That's a fair question. Just fate, I guess, Bessie. Just fate. Fate. What a plumber. You know, if things had been different, Bessie, I might have been a singer. Or even possibly an actor. What's so funny? I've done acting in my time. Right here in Summerfield, too.
Really? I can't imagine you.
You can't imagine me what?
I can't imagine you, kissing people.
Yeah. There are other things to acting besides kissing, Bessie. This part called for very little kissing, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately. It was something Marjorie got me into, my niece. She was mixed up with a little theater group here one year. A character named Bruce Fairfield was running it. I don't remember how I ever got sucked into it, but the first thing you know, they had me doing everything, including playing the leading role.
Why, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Think I couldn't do it, do you? Well, that's what a lot of people thought. I'll never forget the time Mr. Peavy first got wind of it. Sit down, Bessie. You'll love this. Yes, sir? I'll never forget. I walked in there to Peavy's one morning and I had a...
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good morning, Peavy. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
What have you got there, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Got some posters. Just had them printed up. Gonna let you have one for your front window.
Well, that's real nice.
If I can get this darn string... There. I suppose you saw the story in this morning's papers.
Story? No, I didn't.
Why, it was on the front page.
Well, I don't usually get to see the paper till evening. Mrs. Peavy likes to read The Lost and Found at breakfast. What was the story?
That tells all about it on the poster here. There you are.
The Little Theater in the Dell presents Cyrano de Bergerac, starring Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
That's right, Peavy.
Well, I didn't know you had dramatic talent, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I didn't know it myself till 2 days ago.
Well, congratulations. Mrs. Peavy and I will have to try to get to that.
Come one, come all, and bring your friends. Here, gonna leave you some tickets, too, Peavy, in case you can sell any.
Well, I'll be glad to try.
I'll leave you a dozen to start with. You'll find the prices printed on them, $1.10 and $1.65.
Those are mighty handsome tickets, Mr. Gildersleeve. You ought to be able to sell a lot of those.
Well, anything you can do will be appreciated, Peavy.
You know, it's so long since I've been to see a real live play. I used to go all the time as a younger man.
You did?
Every time Maxine Elliott came to town, I never missed. She was lovely, Mr. Gildersleeve. Lovely.
Yes, I've heard she was.
She was what you call a real beauty, Maxine Elliott. She was lovely.
Must have been a long time ago, Peavy. 30 years, at least.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I guess it is, though. 30 years. How time flies. She was lovely.
You seem to have had quite a crush on her, Peavy.
I would have married Maxine Elliott if she'd asked me. Of course, I was unmarried at the time, but I still think of her sometimes, even to this day. I think of Maxine Elliott, and then I look at Mrs. Peavy, and... Oh, well, we all have our points.
Well, good day, Mr. Gildersleeve, the famous actor.
Oh, hello, Floyd. I guess you heard.
Yeah, I read it in the paper. What'll it be, a haircut?
No, I'm on my way home. I just stopped in to leave you one of these posters.
Oh, thanks.
You don't think I need a haircut, do you, Floyd?
Well, I got the judge coming in a few minutes. Guess you'll keep a couple of days.
Mustache looks a little ragged, though. You might just give it a little trim.
Oh, sure. Climb up in the chair there.
Well, we're having our first rehearsal this evening, Floyd.
That's so? Say, what kind of a play is this, Cyrano, Mr. Gildersleeve?
It's a love story, Floyd. Greatest love story ever told on the stage.
Oh? Say, guess those actors in those love scenes, guess they do plenty of schmoozing, huh, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I don't know what you're talking about, Floyd.
Oh, yes, you do. Well, you still haven't told me what the play's about.
Well, to tell the truth, I haven't had time to read it yet, Floyd. Been so busy with getting the tickets printed and getting the posters out and one thing and another.
Oh, here's the judge.
Sorry, I'm a bit late, Floyd. Well, Romeo.
Oh, shut up.
Be right with you, Judge. Just giving Mr. Gildersleeve's mustache a little trim.
Trim it pretty, Floyd. Trim it pretty. He's a matinee idol now, you know.
The old goat. Tell him to keep his remarks to himself, Floyd.
Our friend seems to be getting a trifle temperamental these days, but I suppose you have to expect that of an actor. Who's this Bruce Fairfield, Gildy?
He's the director.
You ever heard of this play they're doing, Judge? Mr. Gildersleeve tells me you don't even know what the play's about.
I didn't say that, Floyd. I
Cyrano?
said I...
Why, it's a classic. Every school child knows Cyrano. And for all my joshing, it's a play that is really very well suited to our friend here.
That's more like it, Judge.
I can see why Mr. Fairfield chose Gildersleeve for the part.
Well, that's funny. I never would have thought of me as the type.
The story, Floyd, is about a man so homely. In fact, so repulsive in appearance that no woman would ever look at him.
Oh, you mean like the Phantom of the Opera?
Floyd, let me out of this chair.
Yes, sir.
Now, Gildy.
Hooker, is that true, what you just said?
So help me, Gildy. That's the story of the play.
Well, I'm going to do a little checking up. And if you're right...
Yes?
I'll kill that Bruce Fairfield.
Throckmorton.
Eve, have you got a minute?
Oh, certainly. Come in.
I can't. That is, I can't stay. I've got to get down to rehearsal. We're having our first reading of the play tonight. But before I go down there, there's one thing I want to know.
What's that?
That Bruce Fairfield. Is he trying to make a monkey out of me?
Why?
Because if he is, I'll punch him right in the nose.
Well, goodness, whatever gave you that impression, Throckmorton?
Well, this play he got me into, Eve. This Cyrano. I hear where it's about a fellow who's so ugly the women won't even look at him.
Well, not ugly exactly. It's just that he has a big nose. Enormous, in fact.
Eve, do you think I have a big nose?
Oh, no. But we'll change it to fit the part. You know, build it up with putty and makeup.
Well, I don't know that I want to be going around with a big nose in front of a lot of people.
Throckmorton, I'm afraid you haven't read the play.
What do you mean I haven't read it? I've got it right here with me, why only last night.
Throckmorton.
Well, I've been busy.
Well, perhaps I should explain then that without Cyrano's grotesque nose, there'd be no play. His disfigurement is the whole cause of the tragedy.
Tragedy?
Yes.
You mean I die in the end?
Of course, at the end of the fifth act.
Well, I don't know that I like that so much.
But all the great actors die. Hamlet, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, they all die in the end.
All right, I'll die then.
No, it's a beautiful story, really. Cyrano is a soldier, one of the greatest swordsmen in France. And he's also a poet and very romantic. He has a comrade named Christian, and both of them are in love with a beautiful girl named Roxanne.
Roxanne, eh?
But here's the sad part. While Cyrano is ugly, even grotesque-looking, Christian is very handsome.
I think I'd rather play the part of Christian.
But Christian is really a very empty-headed young man.
I don't care. Those fellows do all right.
Now, Throckmorton, wait till you hear the rest of the story. Christian is so stupid that when he makes love to Roxanne from beneath her balcony at night, he can't think of anything to say. So he persuades Cyrano to hide in the bushes and make romantic speeches to her.
And Cyrano does it?
He even writes Christian's love letters for him.
And you think Christian is stupid?
But don't you see, Cyrano is so aware of his own ugliness that he'd never dare to tell Roxanne of his love for her. The only way he can make love to her is through Christian, as it were.
Oh. Well, that is kind of tough.
It's tragic. Because it's Cyrano's voice, Cyrano's words, Cyrano's passion that wins Roxanne for Christian.
Well, doesn't she ever catch on to this four-flusher?
Well, that's just the point. Before she has a chance to find out that he's not the man she thought he was, he's killed in battle, dies a hero's death. And for years she goes on believing that Christian was the great love of her life, while Cyrano she just treats as a kind and amusing friend.
Well, gosh, that doesn't seem very fair.
Oh, but then there's the most wonderful scene. Have you the script there?
Yes, here.
Thanks. There's the most wonderful scene where Cyrano is dying. He's been attacked by an assassin and he's dying. It's in a garden and he's alone with Roxanne. And here it is. Come, sit down here beside me, Throckmorton, and let's read it.
Sure. You be Roxanne, huh?
You see, it's late in the afternoon, almost dusk, and the light is fading. And all through the scene, the autumn leaves are falling. It's very sad. Roxanne takes out a love letter that she's been carrying next her heart all these years. The letter that was written to her as Christian lay dying on the battlefield long ago. She doesn't know it, but it was Cyrano who wrote the letter. And Cyrano takes it from her and reads it now. Read, Throckmorton.
Huh? Oh. Adieu, Roxanne. I am dying. Dying tonight, my dear beloved. My heart is still full of love you've not heard, and I am dying.
But how you read it, Cyrano.
Never again will my eyes know the ecstasy of seeing you. I imagine those dear gestures that I love to watch, and I cry out to you.
You are reading.
I cry out at
in
you.
In a voice.
My dear, my dearest, my treasure, my love.
Why, in a voice that I've heard before.
My heart has never left you for a second. I am and always shall be, even in the other world, the one who loves you beyond all love.
Cyrano, you cannot be reading now. The light is gone. And now for 14 years, you have been the good, kind friend coming to amuse me.
Oh, Roxanne. Oh,
Why, Throckmorton.
I can't help it. It's so sad.
We'll hear more about Gildersleeve as Cyrano very soon.
Mr. Lang, since we've been having this general shortage of spreads for bread, I've become an even bigger booster for parquet margarine.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that. Tell us more.
You see, I've served parquet for years, but during this shortage, I've sometimes had to buy other brands. I never realized there could be so much difference in the flavor and quality of spreads. Now I know why our family likes parquet the best. It's our favorite spread for rolls, breakfast toast, and waffles.
And that's why parquet continues to be the favorite of millions. It's always of such high quality and so fresh and country sweet in flavor. That's a reason, too, why parquet is sometimes so hard to find in the food stores these days.
You must mean because it's so popular.
Yes, even though Kraft continues to make all the parquet margarine possible under present conditions, there still isn't nearly enough to meet the big demand. Each dealer, however, is getting his fair share of all the parquet we're making. So keep asking for it by name. Parkay, Parquet Margarine, by the Kraft Foods Company.
Well, Bessie, there may have been better productions of Cyrano, although I never saw one. There never was one that had so many directors.
What does a director do, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Director? He just sits around and bosses everybody. Doesn't do anything, actually.
Oh, just like in the movies.
Exactly, yeah. But my trouble was I had so many amateur directors. Everybody around the house was telling me how to read my lines, including Bertie. Marjorie was busy rehearsing a play for the following week, but she wasn't too busy to put her 2 cents worth in.
Start here on page 12, Unky.
All right, try to remember it. I doff my chapeau with an air. My mantle I toss to a lackey. I draw my bright sword from its sheath. I draw my bright sword from its sheath. Darn it.
Start over again.
Yes. I doff my chapeau with an air.
What you doing, Uncle Herson?
Yes, Leroy, and I'll thank you not to interrupt my concentration.
Okay. I can listen, can't I?
If you'll be quiet.
Oh, sure.
I doff my chapeau with an air.
Would you mind telling me what the story's about?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Leroy, I've told you 1,000 times it's about a man named Cyrano. In this scene, he's fighting a duel. Now be quiet.
Okay. Are you going to do the fighting on the stage?
Certainly. Mr. Fairfield showed me all about fencing.
Bruce is a beautiful fencer.
Yeah, one more lesson and I'll be able to cut his head off.
What's the duel about, Unc?
Well, this fellow insulted Cyrano.
How?
He, makes fun of Cyrano's nose.
That's very funny.
It's not very funny. Nothing funny about it. It's psychological. Cyrano thinks he has a big nose. He's very sensitive about it.
I don't get it. Why does Cyrano think he has a big nose?
Because he has. Leroy, I can't possibly learn this part if you're talking all the time. Why don't you go out and play?
Nobody to play with.
We'll call up Piggy and ask him to play with you.
He has a cold. His mother won't let him out.
Then call up somebody else. Only for heaven's sake, leave me alone.
I'll call Piggy.
All right. Now, let's see. I doff my chapeau with an air. My mantle I toss to a lackey. I draw my bright sword from its sheath.
Hello, Piggy. This is Leroy.
Hello, Piggy. Hi, George. I might as well try to rehearse in a boiler factory.
Can you come over, Pig?
Gosh, Uncle Mort, I might as well be rehearsing my play.
Oh, Marjorie, tonight's my dress rehearsal, and your play doesn't go on till next week.
We can have lots of fun over here, Pig. Can't you sneak out?
None of that, Leroy.
Now, I've got some difficult scenes, too, but nobody helps me.
Let's do Cyrano, Marjorie.
Did you hear Uncle Mort's going to be in a show, Pig? Yeah, he's going to be an actor. You better not let him hear you say that.
What did he say, Leroy?
All right, do your old play. I'm going to rehearse mine. Fleetwood, there's something I must know. I've got to know it, or I simply can't go on.
Gildersleeve, you got any special desires for dinner?
Dinner? Yes, Bertie. I want to have it somewhere far, far away.
Oh, you mean you're going out?
No, I'm just speaking figuratively.
I don't know what the story's about exactly. A Cary Grant part? No, it's more like Jimmy Durante.
What? Leroy, terminate the conversation.
But, Unc, he can't come over. I thought we could have a little chat.
We'll have no chats. I doff my...
Oh, if you only knew how I've lain awake night after night.
Miss Marjorie, what's the matter with you?
Night after night, my pillow was wet with tears.
You poor child.
I doff my chapeau with an air. My mantle I toss to a lackey. I draw my bright sword from its sheath.
I think my uncle is wacky.
Leroy!
No. The fireplace goes over here. Cast, just relax for a moment, will you, till we get this set right.
Good evening, Fairfield.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good evening, Bruce.
Hello, kitten.
Hello, everybody. Well, all ready for the dress rehearsal? I got my lines perfect now. Let's have some light here, shall we? Larry, lights. Would you mind moving that chair back a little, please? Thank you. Now,
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Say, isn't this setting a little modern for Cyrano, Mr. Fairfield? Not that that's in my department, of course.
I wanted to talk to you about that, old man. We're not going to be able to do Cyrano.
We're not going to be able... What did you say, Fairfield?
We can't do it. You see...
Well, this is a fine time to tell everybody. The night before it's supposed to go on.
I'm sorry, old man. It's just...
Everybody in town expects me to appear tomorrow night. We've sold all these tickets. There are posters all over advertising me.
That was your idea. If you hadn't rushed out and had them printed up...
Listen, why can't we put on Cyrano? Why? Give me one good reason.
Well, I don't feel that it's ready yet.
What do you mean it's not ready? I know every line in the play. I've worked hard.
I say it's simply not ready for production. I have my professional reputation to think of, you know.
What about mine? I've been rehearsing for 2 weeks. I've told all my friends. And now, by George, I'm going to do it.
Listen, you fat idiot. Whoop. If you think I ever for one moment intended to sully my professional reputation by allowing you to appear on any stage whatsoever under my direction...
See, so that's it. You've been just using me. Well, let me remind you, Fairfield, that I'm chairman of the finance committee for this theater. And if you...
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, not a word of it. Forgive me. My nerves, you know. All these rehearsals, the strain. I could bite my tongue out.
Well, go ahead.
Mr. Gildersleeve, if you'll only listen to me for a moment.
No.
Marjorie?
Yes?
Come here a moment, kitten. Ask your uncle to listen to me.
I don't understand, Uncle Mort. What's going on?
Well, this weasel...
I'm merely suggesting that we defer Cyrano until our second production.
Oh?
That's it. Cyrano will be our second production. Now, what I propose to do, with your uncle's permission, of course, is to put on Delicate Adventure tomorrow night.
My play?
We've been rehearsing it for a month. It's in much better shape than Cyrano. What do you say, Mr. Gildersleeve?
You knew you were going to do this all the time.
Yeah, well, let me put it this way. It's a chance for Marjorie. She plays the lead. You don't want to stand in the way of an opportunity for her, now do you?
Well, of course not, only...
I'll tell you what. We'll find something for you to do in tomorrow's production. Oh, it will have to be something you can learn quickly, of course. Will you do it?
Well, for Marjorie.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you're a lamb.
Yes, you're a lamb.
I am not.
And don't you mind if your part is small. I know you'll be great.
Here we are, Leila. G, 10, and 12.
Oh, my, these are lovely seats, Horace.
Well, we don't want to miss any of Gildersleeve's artistry.
Oh, Horace, hush.
Here's a program. Can't tell the hams without a program.
Horace. Mercy, Horace, what's this? The Little Theater in the Dell presents Delicate Adventures starring Bruce Fairfield.
What? Hey, we've been swindled. Floyd, did you see this?
Well, I'll be darned. Hey, look, Peeve, there's nothing about Gildersleeve.
No Gildersleeve?
Well, what's happened, Leroy? I thought your uncle was the big attraction tonight.
Well, they switched at the last minute, but I'm just going to be in it.
Lower that backdrop.
Okay.
Little more. Little more. That's right.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. How do I look, Marjorie?
Just fine, Uncle Mort. How do I look?
Just like an actress. I wouldn't know you.
Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it fun?
It's horrible. Marjorie, don't go away.
Why not? What's the matter?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous as a bride.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you can't be.
I am. I'm not going to be able to remember a thing I've got to say. I just know it.
Oh, you've got to. Hey, look, they're dimming the house lights. They're ready for you.
Marjorie, I can't.
Ready with the curtain. All right, Mr. Gildersleeve. Now.
Go ahead, Uncle Mort. You'll be all right when you get out there.
Well, here I go.
Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of a local fire ordinance, I've been asked to request there be no smoking in the theater. I thank you.
Where you going? We want Cyrano. We want Gildersleeve. We want...
Oh, Uncle Mort, how can we go on? This is awful.
Gildersleeve, you'll have to go out and quiet them. They're your friends, evidently.
Well, I'll do what I can, Fairfield.
We want Gildersleeve. We want Cyrano.
Yeah. All right, folks. Quiet, please. Quiet.
That's my ball. Yeah.
Leroy. Ladies and gentlemen, the management has just asked me to make a small announcement.
You tell her, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hi, Floyd.
Hi.
Owing to circumstances beyond our control, ladies and gentlemen, we were unable to present Cyrano to Bergerac tonight, owing to circumstances beyond our control. I said that. Instead, we were forced at the last minute to substitute a very fine little production called Delicate something or other.
Well, we came to see Cyrano.
But we're going to give you Cyrano next time, ladies and gentlemen. Cyrano will positively be our second production.
Give us a sample of it, Gildy.
Yeah, give us a sample.
A sample? Well, I don't know that I could do that.
Ah, come on.
But I'll tell you what I will do. I'll sing you a song.
do sing us a song.
Hello, Leila. Conductor. You know, in the key of C? Fine. Well, do the best you can with it. This is the kind of song Cyrano might have sung to a lady if he didn't sing through his nose. In dreams I kiss your hand, madame, your dainty fingertips, and while in slumberland, madame, I'm begging for your lips.
That's Mr. Gildersleeve.
I haven't any right, madame, to do the things I do. Just when I hold you tight, madame, you'll vanish with the night, madame. In dreams I kiss your hand, madame, and pray my dreams come true.
Hey, give us another song, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Another? Hey, something leaking. Just a minute, folks. Mr. Fairfield, our director, has something to say to me. Yes?
You unutterable ham. Get off the stage so we can get on with the play.
You sent me out here. Now go chase yourself.
Gildersleeve, if you think I'm going to let you play Cyrano after this performance...
Listen, either I play Cyrano next week or I'll sing Chloe right now.
You beast!
Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, next week, Throckmorton Gildersleeve in Cyrano de Bergerac.
All right, on with the play.
The great Gildersleeve will return in just a minute. Right now, during this time when all spreads for bread are scarce, a name that's especially welcome in food stores from coast to coast is Parquet. Delicious, flavor-fresh Parquet margarine. Whenever your food dealer can supply you, you'll find that Parquet is the same fine quality as always. Country sweet in flavor, rich in food energy, and with 15,000 units of important vitamin A in every pound. The Kraft Foods Company is maintaining the high quality that has made Parquet a favorite of millions, and we're continuing to produce all the Parquet we possibly can. Our only regret is that there's not more available at present to meet every family's complete needs. So please be patient when supplies are temporarily short. And remember to keep asking for that good name in quality spreads, Parkay, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Every now and then, the great Gildersleeve has an adventure which you folks seem to enjoy so much that you tell us we'd like to hear it again. So we're devoting these last weeks of our season to recalling some of the great man's early escapades.
That's right. We'll have another one next week, so be sure to listen in. Good night, folks.
Now, a wonderful help in menu planning. It's Pabstet, the delicious cheddar cheese food that's so nourishing, so easy to digest, so easy to serve in 100 appetizing ways. Pabstet spreads, slices, toasts to perfection for sandwiches and snacks. And Pabstet melts smoothly into a luscious golden cheese sauce you can pour over tasty dishes of macaroni, eggs, and fish. Yes, there are 100 delightful ways to enjoy Pabstet's rich, mellow cheddar cheese flavor. So buy both varieties of this delicious cheese food, golden cheddar Pabstet and pimento Pabstet.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. For the past couple of weeks, we have been recalling to you some of the great Gildersleeve's early experiences. Tonight, the great man wants to talk about one of the biggest days in his whole life. We give you now Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Well, sir, as long as I live, I'll never forget last 4th of July. What a day. That was the day of the first annual outing of the Jolly Boys Social Club. Come one, come all, and bring your friends. I'd been up late the night before with the committee on arrangements, and I was planning to celebrate the anniversary of the independence of our country by sleeping a little late that morning. About 7 o'clock, outside my window... Leroy...
Happy 4th of July, Unc!
Yes. There was a war on then. That was only a year ago. Can you believe it? You couldn't buy fireworks anywhere in those days. But breathes there a boy with soul so dead he can't find some way to blow himself up on the 4th? I figured I'd better get down there and see what... Leroy, whatever you're doing, stop it.
I'm not doing anything, Unc.
Don't tell me that. I've got ears. Or I did have.
I'm just blowing up a tin can is all. Gosh, it's the 4th of July.
Well, hold your fire till I can get down there. You can't deny a small boy the 4th of July. That's his day. But I still remember the time I made the mistake of carrying a 3-inch salute in my hip pocket. And my best friend sneaked up on me with a piece of punk. It was burned in my memory. I didn't want anything like that to happen to Leroy, so I got up and shaved and got dressed, put on my white Palm Beach suit and my white canvas shoes that I hadn't worn in years, and hurried downstairs. Breakfast was a rather disordered meal that day. I guess we were all a little excited. Marjorie kept jumping up and down and rushing off places. I finally told her to sit down. Marjorie, I said, for heaven's sake, light somewhere.
But I'm all through, Uncle Mort.
I don't care. Sit down. You make me nervous.
But I'm supposed to be helping Bertie make the lunch.
That can wait till after breakfast. One thing at a time here. Where's my cereal? Leroy, wipe your chin. Bertie, I'm ready for my cereal.
I'm coming.
We ought to get a bell.
Here you are, Mr. Gildersleeve. Leroy, how about you?
Well, I don't want purple.
What's this you've given me, Bertie?
That's your... Oh, my goodness. That's the chopped olives for the sandwiches.
Olives are my favorite fruit, Bertie, but not for breakfast.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. That's what comes from making lunch and breakfast at the same time. I only hope I didn't go and spread the oatmeal on the sandwiches.
Bertie's a scream this morning. How do you like her with that cap over her eye?
I really ought to go out there and help her.
Sit still, my dear. You'll only add to the confusion. She'll fight her way out of this.
What time are we leaving for the picnic grounds, Unky?
Well, Floyd should be coming by here for us about 11.
Floyd Munson? Are we going with him?
Yeah, he's going to get his cousin's hay wagon. We'll all ride out together. Everybody. Big excursion.
Oh, how wonderful. A hayride. I've got to run right over and tell Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall will find out. You stay right where you are.
A hayride? Oh, this is going to be more fun. Unky, I think you were a darling to arrange it.
Yeah.
And don't you look pretty in your nice white suit? Doesn't he look pretty, Leroy?
He looks like the good humor man.
I feel like the good humor man, Leroy. Yes, sir, nobody's going to make me mad today. But don't keep trying, Leroy. Well, we had work to do that morning, but all of a sudden nothing would do. We should drop everything and hang out the flag.
Well, what's the use of having a flag if you don't hang it out on the 4th of July?
All right. So you tramp upstairs to the attic. 2 flights. Extra step. Well, you rummage around and you find the flag. Then you open the front attic window. It hasn't any sash cord, so you have to prop it up with a stick. Only you can't find a stick, so you use a coat hanger.
I'll go out in the yard, Uncle Mort, and see how it looks.
Now, Leroy, when I get out the window, you hold on to my legs.
What for?
What for? What do you think? Just hold on to them, that's all. But don't let go.
Okay.
No, not yet, Leroy. Wait till I get out there.
I thought you said to hold on to them.
Well, use your head, my boy. Now, you lower the flag out the window, and you square 'em part way out yourself. And then you look down. Hold on, Leroy. Oh, sure. That's the time the telephone always rings.
Leroy, telephone. For me. Yes, for you. I'll be back, Unc.
Okay. Oh, Leroy. You come back here. The little devil. There you are. Half in and half out. Straddling the windowsill on your stomach in a Palm Beach suit that's just been cleaned and too tight. There's only one thing to do. You try to inch your way back in. There you are, teetering in space while your life hangs in the balance. And then it happens. Your elbow hits the hanger, the window drops like a guillotine. Oh, right in the back. You're pinned there like a rat in a trap, clutching at Old Glory. 4 or 5 hours pass. Maybe it's 4 or 5 minutes. You've been hollering as loud as you can, with the wind knocked out of you in your heart and your throat. And then some fool happens along and calls to you.
What you doing, Throckmorton?
Leila!
Shoot if you must this old gray head, but spare your country's flag, he said.
Leila, help! This is no joke, Leila. I'm stuck.
Oh, gracious.
Get help!
You stay right there, Throckmorton, you hear? I'll be up. Marjorie, Leroy, Bertie, everybody
Safe at last. Safe again in the bosom of my little family. What might have been an ugly incident was turned into a happy triumph. For Old Glory waved proudly from our attic window. We all went out front to look at it. And we all agreed that it looked just fine there.
It looks just fine there, Throckmorton. Just fine.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
How do you like it, Bertie?
Mr. Gildersleeve, if I had my way, I'd leave it there all the time.
Yes, sir, it looked fine. But there were other things to do, and time was wasting, so I gave a few orders. Let's get going here, Bertie. No time to lose.
Yes, sir.
Now, Marjorie, you help Bertie with the lunch.
Okay.
Leila, I wonder if you could give him a hand.
Well, I have to dress yet, Throckmorton, but I'd be glad to do what I can.
Good. Leroy, you carry out the basket and things as they get them packed.
Me?
Yes, you.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to sit down on the porch here for a while and think about the Declaration of Independence. Well, I sat down on the swing there and lit a cigar. And I thought how different this was from other 4th of Julys I'd known. How quiet and how nice. And I thought how a man's tastes change as he grows older. Why, when I was a youngster, I lived in a world of high explosives. Dynamite caps, 5-inch salutes, red devils, Roman candles, erupting strombolis, 50-cent skyrockets. I loved them. Not anymore. Suddenly I looked down the walk, and here came a little boy that might have been me at the age of 6. Only it wasn't. It was little Craig Bullard from across the street, and he was pulling a toy cannon. I knew what he was going to say before he said it.
Can Leroy play?
Well, hello, Craig. What's that you got there?
I want Leroy to play with me.
Well, Leroy's inside right now.
Tell him to come out.
Well, he has some work to do, Craig.
I want him to come out.
Later, perhaps later. Who gave you the cannon?
My father.
Oh, that's fine. Doesn't go off, does it? Now, Craig, surely your father's told you not to aim that thing at people. Craig, what are you going to do?
I'm going to shoot you.
Now, Craig, what's that string for?
I'm gonna pull it.
Don't you shoot that thing.
I'm gonna pull it. 1,
Craig, you hear me? Don't you shoot that.
2,
Look, Craig, I thought of a game.
3.
I knew it wouldn't shoot.
Hi, Leroy.
Little guest to see you, Leroy.
Oh, for corn's sake. I'll see you later, Craig. I'm busy. I have a cannon. What's that? I have a cannon. Hey, pretty neat. Let's have a look at it, Craigie, old boy. Maybe I can show you how to shoot it.
You do, and I'll shine
Why,
the...
this is one of those carbide cannons. I pull the string and nothing happens. Well, no wonder. What you need is carbide. I've got some around in the garage. Come on. Hey, did you ever think of loading it with gravel?
Leroy?
Yeah?
No carbide, Leroy.
But it's meant for carbide.
And no gravel.
Okay, no gravel, just carbide.
And no carbide.
Okay. Come on, Craig. I know what we'll do.
What were they going to do? I sat there uneasily, wondering how little boys ever live to reach the age of 12. But pretty soon they were back again.
Wait a minute.
Stop it. Stop it, Craig.
Yeah, stop it, you little snitcher.
Leroy.
Well, he claims he's General Eisenhower.
Leroy, Craig's a little boy. That's no reason to get angry with him if he wants to imagine things.
I'm General Eisenhower. He's Rommel.
Yeah.
Now he wants to change sides, the dirty guy.
He must have discovered how the game comes out.
I'm going to take my cannon and go home.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I think that's a very wise decision, my boy. Very wise indeed. Rommel would have been smart if he'd done the same thing. Well, so it went. A few laughs, a few fights, a little excitement, and a lot of bustle and preparation. It was noon before we knew it, and the Jolly Boys were overdue. Leila had gone home to dress, and we were standing on the front porch waiting. Leroy and Marjorie and her boyfriend and I. And the wagon hove in sight.
Here it comes, Unky.
Oh, boy, look at it.
Yes, sir, it was Floyd's cousin's hay wagon with a nice bed of fresh hay. And there were red, white, and blue bows on the tails of the horses. And somebody had twined red, white, and blue crepe paper through the spokes of the wheels. Floyd's cousin was handling the horses, and Floyd sat on the seat beside him. And believe it or not, he had an accordion.
Oh, brother, is that corny?
Oh, it's wonderful. Don't you love it, Marshall? Oh, Unky, I'm so happy.
Yeah, don't jump up and down with the thermos bottles, my dear.
Oh, ahoy there, Commissioner.
Ahoy, Jolly Boys.
Climb aboard.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's get started, huh? There they all were. Good old Hooker, good old Peavy, good old Floyd, and good old Gates. I tell you to look at that good old wagon, all red, white, and blue, and all those fine fellows in it. Well, made you proud of your country, that's all. I'm glad there was a 4th of July.
Come on, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, come on, Commissioner.
Scramble up there, Leroy.
Okay.
Up you go, Marjorie.
You're next, Gildy. Give him a hand there, somebody.
Don't strain yourself, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hey!
Whoa, now. All together, fellas.
Now, up to Daisy.
Well, let's go. Giddy up there.
Yeah, hey, wait. Don't forget to stop for the girls.
Are you kidding?
Oh, take me out to the loading. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me something that's a Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back to the room.
Yes, sir, it looks like it's going to be a great picnic. You know, when a person's hungry, there's nothing quite so satisfying as a slice of bread with your favorite spread.
Well, parquet margarine's my favorite spread, Mr. Lang, but it's often so hard to get. And right now we're all being asked to go easy on bread, so there'll be more for hungry people who really need it. So surely you're not trying to sell me on the idea of using more.
That's right, I'm not. The point I'm trying to make is that bread and spreads are basic, hunger-satisfying foods. Two of the foods most vitally needed in the world today. Here at home, we're fortunate that there's some of both for everyone. Not all we'd like, perhaps, but enough. And by conserving bread and spreads when they're in short supply, it helps everyone to get a fair share.
That, Mr. Lang, is going to make me use parquet sparingly and to appreciate its fine flavor and food value all the more.
And I'd like to just add that Kraft will continue to make all the parquet margarine possible under present conditions and distribute it as fairly as we can. Thanks again for being so patient when supplies of parquet are temporarily limited.
Yes, sir, quite a day, the 4th of July. Everybody had a good time riding out to the picnic grounds. Leroy was up front with the driver. Marjorie and Marshal Bullard sat together, talking very seriously. Floyd was playing his accordion. Mostly requests from Eve Goodwin and Leila Ransom. Sounded pretty good. Floyd was all dressed up for a day in the country with white sports shoes. Judge Hooker had on a pair of golf knickers he dug up someplace.
I never knew the judge was bow-legged before.
That'll do, Leroy. Eve Goodwin was looking very pretty with a big straw hat on. Leila was wearing something she called a play suit.
Didn't you ever hear of a play suit, Throckmorton?
No, but I like it. What'll we play?
Oh, you.
Well, we got out to the grounds in about an hour. Nice woodsy spot besides a little stream. Quite a good deep pool at one point. We unloaded the baskets with the food. Everything was so peaceful for a few minutes.
Just pile all that stuff over here, boys, under the tree.
What about putting it out here in the open?
I prefer to have it under the tree, Floyd, and since I'm to be the chef...
Who said you were going to be the chef, Judge?
Naturally, I assumed that...
Well, just turn off your assumer. You're assuming too fast.
Yeah, I'm pretty fair-handed at barbecue myself.
I will attend to the barbecuing, Floyd.
Who said so? Well, it just so happens, Gildy, that my recipe for barbecued frankfurters is acknowledged the best in town.
Not by me, it ain't. I got a sauce makes a hot dog taste like filet mignon.
Well, my sauce makes it taste like a hot dog.
I still say if you have any regard for our guests, you let me be the chef.
Oh, is that so?
Yes,
now, wait a minute.
Fellas, is this any way to behave? Why, what'll our guests think of the Jolly Boys?
Gee, I never thought of that.
We've got an organization with a reputation to maintain. Summerfield has its eye on the Jolly Boys Club.
Chief Gates is right, fellas. I'll withdraw my claim to the chef's job.
So will I. You take it, Floyd.
No, Judge, you take it.
Oh, no.
Well, then let Gildersleeve have it.
Oh, no, not me.
Well, for heaven's sake...
You asked for it in the first place, Judge.
That has nothing to do with it.
The idea. I've never seen
something. Let's be jolly boys, shall we?
So harmony finally prevailed. We made Hooker chef, and then somehow I got stuck with the job of collecting wood for a fire. So naturally, I went looking for Leroy. I finally found him down by the creek. Leroy, put your shoes on. I want you to gather some wood for a fire.
Oh, no.
Now, Leroy.
I'm working on an important project. I can't stop in the middle of it.
What is the project?
I'm improving the swimming hole. Everybody will be grateful when it's done.
There's nothing the matter with the swimming hole, my boy. It doesn't need any projects.
Are you kidding? It isn't deep enough. I can't even get over my head.
It isn't necessary to drown to have a good time, my boy. Now put on your shoes.
Oh, please, Uncle, I'll get the firewood later. Can't I just build a small dam?
Well, all right. But building a dam is harder than you think.
Well, if a dumb animal can do it, I can do it. Gosh, a beaver. They chew down trees with their teeth and then slap the mud on with their tails.
How are you going to manage that?
Sit on it. Or maybe you could sit on it. That'd be better.
Leroy! If you're going to play in the water, put on your bathing suit. Well, I finally got Marjorie and Marshal Bullard to go out and collect firewood. They'd been mooning around with nothing to do, and they seemed glad of an excuse to go off for a walk by themselves. Of course, when they came back an hour later, they'd forgotten to bring any firewood. But they didn't seem to mind going back for some more. Although by that time, the rest of us were getting ready to go swimming.
Say, Commish, that school teacher don't look bad in a bathing suit, does she?
Miss Goodwin is a lady, Floyd.
Did I say she wasn't? Ransom ain't bad either.
Are you referring to Mrs. Ransom?
Well, sure. What's the matter?
You better watch your step there, Floyd. Remember, Mr. Gildersleeve's been engaged to practically every woman on this picnic.
Now, see here, you fellas.
Only kidding, Commissioner, weren't we, Floyd?
Well, I thought so. Come on, let's go swimming.
Well, gentlemen, off for a plunge in the brook?
Peavy. Come on, get into your bathing suit.
No, thanks, Mr. Gildersleeve. Not today.
Oh, come on, Peave. It'll cool you off.
No, really. The fact is, I'm not much of a swimmer.
Oh, just float then. Anybody can float.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I've always had trouble floating.
Oh, there's nothing to it, Peave. Just lie on your back and don't move.
And that's what they always told me.
Well?
Every time I try it, water goes up my nose.
Well, your head must be heavier than your feet.
That's what I say.
You two, aren't y'all going in the water?
We'll be right there, Leila. We're trying to get Peavy to come along.
What, Peavy? Not going swimming?
No, Judge, not today.
Well, good way to work up an appetite, Peavy.
Well, I dare say, but the fact is, gentlemen, I promised Mrs. Peavy I wouldn't go. She has a theory it's bad to go in the water on a hot day.
That's a lot of baloney.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Not to Mrs. Peavy, anyway. Of course, right now, she's out of town.
Yeah, that's right. Come on, Peavy. Come on, fellas. Last one into the water is a rotten egg.
Aren't you going to get your feet wet?
Well, that's no way. I want to dive in.
Well, I don't think the water's deep enough, Throckmorton.
Plenty deep enough for a good diver.
You could dive off that rock, Commissioner, if you're really good.
Let's see you dive off the rock, Unc.
Well, that's pretty high.
What's the matter? You afraid?
Well, no, I'm not afraid. I'll show you, by George.
You want to see me swim underwater, Mrs. Ransom?
Can you really?
Just watch.
Oh, my goodness, look at Mr. Munson eat. He's actually swimming underwater.
Hey, girls, aren't you going to watch me dive?
Oh, my ankle.
You think it was a lobster, Mrs. Ransom? It's only me.
This.
You cut that out, Floyd.
Hey, girls, you want to see me imitate a whale?
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Well, watch. First, I float on my back, then...
Oh, he's spouting.
Oh, that's marvelous.
Hey, girls, watch me. I'm going to dive.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
You better get out of the way.
Stand back, ladies. Give the man room.
Come on, Unc. 1, 2.
Don't rush me, Leroy.
Hey, girls, you want to see me stand on my head in the water? Look.
Oh, that's marvelous. Look at him.
Oh, who can't do that?
Oh, both of them. Don't they look fantastic?
Hey, girls, watch me. I'm going to dive.
Well, for corn's sake, go ahead and dive.
Oh, look, Eve. Here comes Mr. Peavy.
Oh, my goodness.
That long-sleeve bathing suit is hookers. Come on in, Peave. The water's fine.
I think I'll just sit on the bank here and dabble my toes.
Come on up here with me, Peavy, and dive in.
You'll get wet faster your way, Peavy.
What'd you say, Floyd?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, do come in, Mr. Peavy. The water's lovely.
Is it cold?
It's just right. Stick your toe in.
Well, seems nice and moderate. Guess I can risk it. I'll just rub a little water on my chest and on my forehead and my stomach.
What's that for, Peave?
That prevents a chill.
Look at me, darn it.
I wonder if I can remember how to do a duck dive. Would you ladies care to see me do my duck dive?
Oh, we certainly would, wouldn't we?
I can't think of anything more enjoyable.
Hey, here I come.
And now you watch. When I wiggle my feet just before they go under, that's the duck's tail feathers.
Goodness.
Oops, there go the tail feathers.
Look out, everybody. Here I come, and this time I mean it. Oh, 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 oh.
Holy cow, he knocks half the water out of the pool.
Well, we were all having a good time in the water, but the judge made us come and eat his barbecued frankfurters. His sauce wasn't so much. I only ate 6.
You ate 7.
But I will say everybody was nice and helped clean up afterward. Even Leroy did a little work.
A little?
Leroy didn't have time to do much work because Mr. Bullard drove out and took him and Marshall and Marjorie home in his car. That just left the grown-ups to ride back in the hay wagon, and perhaps it was just as well.
The moonlight's nice tonight, isn't it, Throckmorton?
You bet.
The moon's awfully pretty tonight, isn't it, Judge?
Yes, it is, Leila. It is indeed.
Moon's awful pretty tonight. Ain't it, Peavy?
Get away from me, Floyd.
Are you comfortable, Eve?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Comfortable, Leila?
Yes, thank you. Although the hay gets a little itchy after a while.
Are you cold, Eve?
Oh, mercy, no.
Well, couldn't you pretend you're a little chilly?
Now, Throckmorton.
I can hear every word you say, Commissioner.
Well, play your accordion, Floyd, and give us a chance.
Okay.
Floyd played some nice old songs, and Eve snuggled up to me a little. But I couldn't seem to get my mind on her. Maybe it was because I couldn't help noticing that Judge kept trying to slide his arm around Leila. Leila's nothing to me, of course. But just the same, when she called over to me...
Why don't you sing, Throckmorton?
Sing? Why, George, that's a good idea, Leila. Why don't we all sing? Come on, Floyd, something we all know.
Well, let me see. How's that?
Oh, that's just the one, Floyd.
Okay.
All together now, folks.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, strolling through the shady lanes with your baby mine, hold her hand and she holds yours, and that's a very good sign that she's your Tootsie Woosie.
Yes, sir. We hope that all of you can have at least a day this summer as fine as our last 4th of July. This is our last broadcast of the season, but we'll be back again for the Kraft Foods Company on September 11th. If you look at your calendar, you'll find out that September the 11th isn't Sunday at all. It's Wednesday. So you remember that and tell your friends. Next season, you'll hear the great Gildersleeve. That's me. On Wednesday instead of Sunday. It'll be the same network, and your local paper will give you the time and the station. I guess all the members of our cast are looking forward to their vacations. I'd like to thank every one of them for the nice times we've had together all this year. There's Louise Erickson, who plays Marjorie, Walter Tetley, our little Leroy, and Lillian Randolph, whom you know as Bertie. Getting outside the immediate family, there's Shirley Mitchell, who plays Leila Ransom, and Bea Benaderet, who's Eve Goodwin. Thanks, too, to the Jolly Boys, Arthur Q. Bryan, and Ken Christie, who are Floyd and Chief Gates. And to that not-so-jolly little boy, Tommy Bernard, who plays Little Craig. And to jolly Johnny Lang, our announcer. And, of course, with every season that goes by, we appreciate more and more our two fine old standbys, Earl Ross, who plays Judge Hooker, and Richard LeGrand, who is Mr. Peavy.
As we come to the close of another season of fun on the Great Gildersleeve, we'd like to leave with you this very serious thought.
How would your appetite hold up at dinner tonight if a starving child stood at your elbow? A child with hunger biting into his wide eyes and hollow cheeks. Please, just for a moment, pretend that you can see him beside you. This child who has known the worst of war and now faces famine. How when spring is back and our children frolic in the sun, these frail children of Europe and Asia long for bread. Help to feed them, and you can by buying and eating as little wheat and rice as possible, by turning in used fats and oils, eating more of the plentiful foods, as much as possible from your own garden, preserving all you do not eat, wasting not a scrap. A child in Europe, when he gets some strength back in his body, will thank you for it.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.